Welcome back to Beyond the Battlefield. Have you ever noticed something strange about human life? We spend years chasing something we believe will finally make us happy. A promotion, a relationship, a bigger home, a dream opportunity. And while we're pursuing it, our mind becomes completely occupied by it. We think about it, we worry about it, we plan for it, we pray for it. And sometimes, we even get it. But then a curious thing happens. For a brief moment, there is excitement. And then another desire quietly takes its place. Why does this happen? Why do desires have such a powerful hold on the human mind? Why do some desires make us restless, while others become a doorway to something sacred? And perhaps the most important question of all, are we truly seeking God, or are we seeking something from God? In today's episode, Krishna takes us deeper into one of the most practical and psychologically profound sections of the Bhagavad Gita. We explore how desire steals clarity, why faith matters more than belief, why our ancient sages connected the divine to human aspirations, and how every object of devotion slowly shapes the person who worships it. Because Krishna reveals a truth that can transform the way we look at our careers, relationships, ambitions, and even our spirituality. What you seek is shaping who you become. Let's step onto the battlefield.
In the previous verse, Krishna described a rare soul, a person who after many lifetimes of learning, searching, succeeding, failing, rising and falling, finally realizes everything is divine. Everything is an expression of the same reality. But if that truth is available to everyone, then a natural question arises. Why don't most people experience it? Why do we remain trapped in confusion, anxiety, craving, and endless chasing? Krishna answers that question in verse 20.
Those whose knowledge has been carried away by material desires surrender to the celestial gods. Following their own nature, they worship the Devatas, practicing rituals meant to propitiate these celestial personalities.
What a fascinating phrase. Krishna is not saying people lack intelligence. He is saying their wisdom has been carried away.
Exactly. And by whom? Not by some enemy outside, by desire. This is one of the deepest psychological observations in the entire Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that when desires become strong, our clarity begins to disappear. Osho explains this beautifully. Imagine you are walking down a street. You see something in a shop window, a car, a watch, a promotion, a lifestyle, and suddenly a thought appears. I wish that was mine. The moment that desire grabs hold, something subtle happens inside. Your awareness becomes narrower. Your mind becomes restless. Your perception becomes distorted. You are no longer seeing reality. You are seeing reality through the lens of wanting.
That's interesting, because most people think desire makes them focused. Krishna seems to be saying desire actually makes them unconscious.
Exactly. A desire can give intensity, but intensity is not the same as clarity. Think about the last time you desperately wanted something. A deal, a relationship, a recognition, a particular outcome. Were you calm or were you constantly thinking about it? Constantly worrying about it? Constantly imagining future scenarios? That's what Krishna is pointing toward. The desire itself creates agitation, and agitation steals wisdom. That is why Krishna uses such a powerful phrase, Hritagyana, knowledge has been carried away.
So the real problem is not the object. The real problem is the agitation created around the object.
Beautifully said, and this is where an interesting tradition developed in Indian spirituality. Our ancient rishis understood something very practical. They knew most people would not suddenly abandon all desires and start seeking self-realization. People would still want money, success, relationships, health, security, a home, a better future. So they created a brilliant bridge. Instead of fighting human desires, they attached divinity to them. If someone desired wealth, there was Lakshmi. If someone desired success, there was Ganesha. If someone desired knowledge, there was Saraswati. A deity became connected to every major human aspiration, not because the sages wanted people trapped in desires, but because they wanted people to remember God even while pursuing desires.
So the idea was not the desire itself. The idea was gradually shifting attention away from the object and toward the divine.
Exactly. Think about it. If all day long I am obsessed with money, my mind becomes anxious. But if I begin thinking about Lakshmi with devotion, gratitude, and surrender, something changes. The mind becomes softer, less agitated, less desperate, less controlling. The desire is still there. But now God has entered the picture. And once God enters the picture, the possibility of inner transformation begins. The sages understood that a restless mind cannot jump directly into enlightenment. Sometimes it needs a doorway. Sometimes desire itself becomes the doorway. But Krishna is also giving us a warning. Many people stop at the doorway. They keep praying for things. More money, more comfort, more success, more security, and they never move beyond that. The object changes. The agitation remains. The anxiety remains. The seeking remains.
So verse 20 is not criticizing worship. It is inviting us to examine why we are worshiping.
Precisely. Am I seeking God or am I seeking something from God? That is the question Krishna places before us. Because there comes a moment in spiritual growth when the seeker realizes every desire fulfilled left me wanting something else. Every achievement created another goal. Every possession created another craving. And suddenly a deeper longing awakens, not for more things, but for more truth. Not for more success, but for more awareness. Not for more control, but for inner freedom. That is the turning point. The moment desire stops being the destination and starts becoming the teacher. And Krishna says until that turning point comes, knowledge remains covered. Because wherever desire dominates, clarity cannot fully shine. Verse 20 leaves us with a powerful reflection. What is driving my life today? Wisdom or desire? Because whatever drives us eventually directs us.
In the last verse, Krishna gave us a surprising insight. He said that when desires become strong, our wisdom gets carried away. Instead of seeking the highest truth, we start seeking specific outcomes: wealth, success, health, security, recognition. And then Krishna said something even more surprising. He does not reject those seekers. He does not condemn them. Instead, in verse 21, he says,
whatever celestial form a devotee seeks to worship with faith, I steady the faith of such a devotee in that form.
That's remarkable. Krishna knows the person's motivation is still desire-driven, yet he strengthens their faith instead of criticizing it.
As we discussed earlier, our sages created a bridge between desire and the divine. Krishna is not really talking about the deity. He is talking about Shraddha. The real power is not in whether you worship Krishna, Rama, Jesus, Shiva, Ganesha, or any other form. The real power is in the quality of your heart. Because what matters is not the name. What matters is whether a bridge is being built between you and the divine. And Osho makes a fascinating distinction here between faith and belief. He says Shraddha is not belief. Belief and Shraddha are not the same thing at all. Belief is often an attempt to cover up doubt. A person says, I believe. But deep down, doubt is still sitting there. Belief is often fighting against doubt. But Shraddha is different. Shraddha means the absence of doubt itself. Not suppression of doubt, not argument against doubt, just absence. Like you don't believe in the sun, you simply see it. You don't wake up every morning and say, I strongly believe the sun exists. The question never arises. Think about it. Nobody wakes up and says, I strongly believe I exist. You simply know. Nobody keeps repeating, I believe the sun exists. You simply see it. Belief needs reinforcement. Shraddha does not. Belief says, I hope this is true. Shraddha says, I have seen enough to trust. That is why Krishna gives such importance to Shraddha. Because a person may start with desire, but if genuine Shraddha appears, transformation has already begun. That effortless trust, that openness, that innocence is closer to Shraddha.
So Krishna is saying that even if someone's desire is still immature, genuine Shraddha can become a doorway.
Exactly. That is why Krishna says, I strengthen that faith. Not because the desire is ultimate, but because faith can eventually take the seeker beyond desire.
And then, verse 22 takes it one step further. Krishna says,
Endowed with faith, the devotee worships a particular celestial god and obtains the objects of desire. But in reality, I alone arrange these benefits.
This is a beautiful teaching. The forms may be many. The source is one. The temples may be many. The power behind them is one. The rivers may be many. The ocean is one. Krishna is saying, you may think your blessing came from a particular deity, but behind every blessing, behind every opportunity, behind every answered prayer, the same divine intelligence is operating.
So Krishna is expanding the seeker's vision, moving them from the form toward the source.
Exactly. And Osho highlights another beautiful point. Krishna knows these desires will never ultimately satisfy us. He knows that wealth will not end craving. Success will not end restlessness. Achievement will not end longing. Yet he does not forcibly take those desires away. Why? Because some truths cannot be taught. They must be experienced. Krishna says, in effect, go ahead, fulfill the desire, receive what you seek, and then see for yourself whether it truly satisfies you. Because after enough experiences, a person begins to discover something profound. The object was never the real longing. The soul was searching for something deeper all along.
That feels incredibly relevant today. Many people think, if I just get the promotion, if I just build the company, if I just buy the house, if I just achieve this one goal, then everything will be complete.
And Krishna smiles because he knows what usually happens next. The goal is achieved. For a moment there is excitement, and then another desire appears, and another, until one day a deeper question emerges. Not what else can I get, but what is it that I am truly seeking? That is the beginning of real spirituality. Verse 21 and 22 together reveal a beautiful truth. Krishna does not begin by fighting human desires. He begins by strengthening human faith. Because faith can evolve, desires can mature, understanding can deepen, and one day the same person who started by asking for things may begin asking for truth itself. And that is the difference between a prayer that asks for something and a prayer that wants to become something. And that is the journey Krishna is patiently guiding.
But now a deeper question emerges. If Krishna strengthens faith, if Krishna helps people receive what they ask for, then why doesn't the story end there? Why does Krishna continue? Because getting what you want and becoming fulfilled are not the same thing. Now, in verse 23, Krishna introduces a completely new idea. He shifts the conversation from what you get to what you become.
But the fruit gained by these people of little understanding is perishable. Those who worship the celestial gods go to the celestial abodes, while my devotees come to me.
So Krishna is no longer talking about desires. He's talking about destinations.
And this is a profound shift. Most of us evaluate life by asking, what will I get? Krishna asks a different question. What are you becoming? Because every pursuit changes the person pursuing it. Every object of devotion shapes the devotee. Every goal slowly molds the consciousness of the seeker. If someone spends their entire life chasing wealth, their mind gradually becomes wealth-centered. If someone spends their life chasing power, their mind becomes power-centered. If someone spends their life chasing status, their identity becomes status-centered. And Krishna says, be careful, because eventually you arrive where your attention lives.
That makes the verse feel much bigger than religion. It feels like a universal law.
It is. Most people hear the word worship and immediately think of temples, rituals, prayers, and ceremonies. But Krishna's definition is much deeper. What occupies your thoughts? What drives your decisions? What do you constantly worry about? What do you constantly dream about? What determines your sense of worth? That is what you are truly worshipping. You may never bow before it. You may never build a temple for it. But if it sits at the center of your life, it has already become your deity.
That's a powerful mirror, because many of us may not worship God at all. We may be worshiping success, or approval, or achievement.
And Krishna is inviting us to look honestly, not at our words, but at our attention. Because attention is the real prayer. Where your attention goes, your life follows. Then Krishna says something very important. Devandev yajo yanti. Those who worship devas reach the devas. Again, this is not a statement about reward and punishment. It is a statement about limitation. Whatever you pursue can only take you as far as itself. Money can take you to money. Power can take you to power. Fame can take you to fame. Knowledge can take you to knowledge. But none of them can take you beyond their own boundary. Everything in the world has a limit. Everything in the world has an end. That is why Krishna uses the word antvat, that which eventually ends, that which cannot last forever.
And then comes the contrast. Madbhakta yanti mam. My devotees come to me.
Yes, and notice how beautiful this is. Krishna is not offering a bigger reward. He is offering a different destination. The seeker of wealth receives wealth. The seeker of power receives power. The seeker of God receives God. One path is about acquiring more. The other is about awakening more. One path keeps asking, what else can I get? The other begins asking, who am I really? One path moves from desire to desire. The other moves from identity to essence.
This reminds me of something many successful people experience. They achieve what they wanted, and yet something inside still feels unfinished.
Because the deepest longing of the human heart is not for possessions. It is not even for success. It is for wholeness. And no finite object can satisfy an infinite longing. That is Krishna's point. The problem is not that worldly achievements are wrong. The problem is expecting them to do a job they were never designed to do. No achievement can give permanent peace. No title can give permanent fulfillment. No possession can remove existential emptiness. Only a connection with the source can do that. And that is why Krishna says, those who seek limited things receive limited things. But those who seek the infinite gradually discover the infinite within themselves.
As we close today's episode, let's pause for a moment and reflect. Krishna began by showing us how desire can cloud wisdom. Then, he revealed something beautiful. He does not reject people because they have desires. He meets them where they are. He strengthens their shraddha. He allows them to learn through experience. And then, gently, he points them toward a deeper truth. The real question is not, what am I getting from life? The real question is, what is life making me become? Because every pursuit shapes us. Every devotion transforms us. Every object placed at the center of our life quietly becomes our destination. If we worship achievement alone, we become trapped in achievement. If we worship approval, we become dependent on approval. But if we seek truth, if we seek awareness, if we seek the divine, something extraordinary begins to unfold within us. We start moving from craving to clarity, from restlessness to peace, from endless seeking to inner fulfillment. Perhaps this week, carry one question with you. What sits at the center of my life? Because wherever your attention lives, your life eventually arrives. Thank you for joining us on Beyond the Battlefield. If this episode helped you see your inner battlefield a little more clearly, please share it with someone who may need it today. And don't forget to subscribe, follow the podcast, and write to us at beyondthebattlefield@outlook.in. You can also explore our Bhagavad Gita companion, GPT, through the link in the description. Perhaps the greatest freedom is not getting everything you desire. Perhaps the greatest freedom is discovering that what you truly seek has been within you all along. Until next time, keep looking beyond the battlefield, because the deepest victory is always an inner one.